Hey UCGC, welcome to the first episode of the UCGC Podcast. I'm your host DJ, and this is
Chad. Nice to meet you.
And today we'll be going over some nice topics inside the gaming community and what we've been playing over the past week and a half.
Sounds good. So what do you want to start with?
So already know about the Pokemon Sword and Shield. They already released a new trailer for a Gigantamax Pokemon.
Yep. The various different ones that just got new forms, including Charizard, which a lot of people are upset about, as I can tell from what I've read online.
Yeah.
Because we got Charizard X, Charizard Y. Now we got
Gigantamax
Charizard. Friggin', he's Charizard, you're Charizard, I'm Charizard. Are there any other Charizards that I should know about?
Roar. But a couple of memes that I found funny were like the SpongeBob meme with he's Squidward, I'm Squidward. Yeah, and the other one was like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like they're looking at the painting of George Washington, and it's like, I'm getting sick of this guy, let's take him down. But other than that, there's a lot of more of pre-orders than like actual like things you get in the base game, because for Gigantamax Pikachu and Gigantamax Eevee, you need to have the two other games to get them.
And there's also
the Meowth is already a pre-order bonus, which I'm gonna get because obviously Meowth Longcat.
I love Meowth Longcat.
Longcat lives again.
Meowth Longcat is my favorite cat, and it might just be my favorite Pokemon now. I'm not gonna lie, just because it's a long friggin' boy. I love long cats.
Yeah. Well, I think they did Meowth justice this time because Alolan Persian Meowth, ooh boy, they did him dirty.
He was just round. Persian was just very round. They pulled Garfield. I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
It just doesn't look good. It looks like a pug, you know, like how their face.
Yeah.
It looks how like their face is like it's a can. It's not like a full circle.
Pugs. But I like pugs.
But it's a genetic problem, dude.
Tell that to Game Freak, okay? If you really gotta talk to them about how they're running their biology for Pokemon, honestly.
Okay.
But no, yeah, I personally am cool with what they're doing with Gigantamax. I don't think it's necessarily anything like bad. I'm sure it'll create some great opportunities in competitive play. It still just feels like off-brand Mega Evolution to me. And what doesn't make sense to me is that they're going to have a special Gigantamax Eevee rather than special Gigantamax like Vaporeon, Flareon. Like, why would they do a previous evolution instead of just giving the full, like, final evolution, the special Gigantamax?
Yeah, I understand that, but, like, they also gave, like, Eevee a Z move inside Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess it's kind of like, okay, this is your base, like, you could go from anywhere from here, so it's your choice. It's not our fault for forcing it upon you.
Yeah, I mean, I get that to, like, a certain extent. Again, it's just, like, why not just give it to, like, the final, like, evolution for me? But then that makes me question, why did you get rid of Mega Evolution if you're just going to bring this back? Like, I get that it gives, like, an opportunity for more Pokemon to just be like, oh, now they're big, now they're stronger, that's what we're going with now. Yeah. Instead of just having a select few have, like, some higher evolutions, which kind of makes some of the competitive stage a little stale, as far as I've heard.
Well, didn't they already, like, say that they're not going to be doing, like, or, like, any Pokemon you get could be competitive? You could change, like, natures now?
Yeah, I think they said something along those lines. Like, I know that there's, like, every time that there's been a Game Freak interview, they've tried to emphasize, we want to have more Pokemon get more use and, like, more playtime, rather than just having, like, the same 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever Pokemon that you constantly see in a bunch of other teams.
Well, yeah, that's also another thing, though. Like, Mega Evolution was, like, very stale in the sense that you only could select different Pokemon, select few Pokemon, actually. Like, you got the basic starters for, like, when X and Y first came out, you only got those 3 and, like, a couple others. But after that, it wasn't really, like, cool anymore. The only thing that I could say that was, like, form-changing was, like, in Black and White 2 with Black Kyurem or White Kyurem.
Yeah.
So it's, like, you only could get, like, either one of those at a time, so you couldn't have both in the party, which kind of sucked. But, like, honestly, I feel like Game Freak's going inside a new route where it's, like, I want to have everyone use, like, multiple Pokemon that may not be, like, popular inside the meta or like anything like that, because the meta is a real big like problem with this. It's like you'll have like people running like just basic Pokemon with the best stats technically. It's the same problem with all competitive games really. Like even the card games like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. Like there are stuff that will break the game, and that's why you have ban lists and forbidden lists. So from a competitive standpoint, like I would like to see Game Freak and Nintendo go with a Smash, where it's like they come out with patches saying, "Oh yeah, this move got nerfed for like competitive online, but it retains the same kind of like buff for like normal trainer battles or story mode, I guess in a sense." But overall, I think they should just go like, "Oh yeah, if it's too big and competitive, then obviously it's going to be too good inside the story." So it's like, maybe not.
Yeah, but then like here's the thing with how they want trainers to use more Pokemon, but they're still going to cut a bunch of Pokemon from Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. It's a huge contradiction. I did hear online somewhere that it's really just for this game that they're cutting, just because they are getting like this is the first time that they're getting a full-blown Pokemon overworld Pokemon game like set out. So, like, I get it from that perspective. It's just really this feeling that they're contradicting themselves. Yes, they want us to use more Pokemon, different Pokemon, not the same 10 Pokemon that people have been using
over and over again.
For like, the past however many generations that, like, competitive play has been, around. But then they go ahead and cut a ton of Pokemon, like, of which we don't even know. Like, some of our favorite Pokemon could just not be around anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Which sucks, in my opinion.
I feel like people are just scared of, like, oh, I don't get to play with this Pokemon, not going to buy it. But people are going to buy it anyway. Because
Exactly. Yeah, no. And again, it's Pokemon. They're still going to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't care who people think they are. They are going to see other people play it. They're going to be like, maybe I should give it a chance. Then they're going to pick it up. And they're going to play it, they're going to love it. Yes, maybe their favorite Pokemon isn't there, but I'm sure that they can still enjoy it to at least 3/4 of the extent that they've enjoyed, like, previous generations.
Yeah. Well, also about that, it's just, like, kind of, we're not trying to run in circles here, but, like, overall, I think the Pokemon series in general is just different every so slightly every generation.
Yeah.
Because once you hit Gen 3, it was kind of like, oh, you had bikes that hopped or like went up rock slides or mud slides and that, but like when they ported that stuff over to the remakes of Fire Red and Leaf Green, it was kind of like, okay, what else? I really felt like the Pokemon series didn't really pick up until
Gen 3, Gen 4.
Gen 4 really, because like a lot of stuff was like kind of like bland and like kind of repetitive, but like the one thing I did like about like the remake of Gen 2 for Soul Silver, like Heart Gold, was like you gotta have the Pokemon walk behind you. Yeah. And I think that was probably one of the biggest achievements for Game Freak, to have more than 2 sprites on like the actual like screen at a time, and like making sure like, oh yeah, if you turn around at certain points, like your Pokemon could pick up other stuff for you and be like, oh yeah, here's some Oran Berry that we found on the floor, that kind of stuff. But overall, I think that I will buy the game. So, like...
Didn't you say you have it pre-ordered already?
No, you can't pre-order it yet.
What?
No, because the Meowth is a pre-order bonus.
Oh, okay.
But you can't pre-order it, and they have not dropped the date where you can pre-order.
That is so
I'm kind of skeptical. I'm like, when can I buy this digitally? And, like, when is the earliest chance I can get it when my next paycheck comes in?
That's really weird. That's a weird decision on their part. But, like, going off of what you just said, like, having, like, slightly different features with every different generation. Yeah. Like... Exactly. Having the overworld sprite, having the Pokemon follow you. We had that in Soul Silver, in Heart Gold, but we haven't had it in every other generation after that. And that was a really, like,
but we did it. We had it inside Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. But that was going back to...
Do they really...
But you're going back to the basic roots, though. You're trying to perfect the technology.
I know. Like, I have strong opinions about Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. I think... Yes, I understand why they designed it the way they did, to get Pokemon Go players like into the main franchise in some way, shape, or form. I get it. That's cool. However, it was still the whole, oh, you don't fight the wild Pokemon anymore, you just catch them. Like, why? I don't know. I have strong opinions about that game.
I actually like that. Like it, even though it may be controversial, like oh, you can't fight Pokemon anymore, but you can still like battle their trainers. And, like it doesn't take away from it. Like even though like you're still catching, it was actually easier to catch the legendary birds because you took the two Joy-Cons and you go like that all the time.
Okay, yeah, like there are definitely some fun memes that can come out of it, like the whole just legendary Pokemon, just 2 joysticks at a time. That's it. That's all you need. Like I think that's funny. Like I don't know. I'm just salty that like they wouldn't keep all the previous like functions that they've had with every preceding generation. Cause like we're never gonna see like Diamond and Pearl, the underground thing ever again. Like we're never gonna see that.
Yeah, we're never gonna see that again because like I think it's more genuine to like the area and the region.
I mean, yeah, because there was like the whole first city was just like mining,
yeah,
like that. Like
this is what you can do. Here's your secret base.
Yeah,
because like they had to carry all the secret base functions from like Gen 3.
Yeah.
So it's like this is the easiest way to do it, which makes sense. Create a new underground area. But the problem about that was like it was kind of like hard for me for like as like a kid to like understand like how it worked.
I mean, honestly, the only time I really did go down below was just to get Cranidos or Bastiodon or whatever their previous evolutions were. But I don't know. So like going back to like the Pokemon Go or Pokemon Let's Go games, I didn't understand why they wouldn't let Pokemon Go at the time had up to what? Generation 4?
Pokemon Go
when
was Gen 3, I believe, when it came out.
I thought it would have been funny that if they let like Gen
2,
Gen 3 Pokemon come in through your Pokemon Go account. I thought that would have been fun.
I think it would be fun, but then it's kind of like, oh, like I've never seen this Pokemon before, and like you have like a Raid Articuno or like a Raid Raikou or Entei, and be like, yeah, here you go. And like, it'd be kind of unfair, kind of ruin the story.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
But like a lot of stuff is also nostalgia factor, so it's kind of like true. The first Pokemon game I picked up was Ruby, but then I picked up Fire Red and Leaf Green right after. I was like, this is a lot of fun. Like I didn't realize because like there's more because I knew like there was like from the TV show there was like the first generation Pokemon, but I was completely unaware that there were second gen Pokemon because when the first game came out, I think the anime already had to start on the second season. Yep. Right. And it was already past the first region, I guess. It was kind of weird. It was like seeing all these new things, but it got me excited to like actually go out and like play these things.
I have a confession. For my first Pokemon game, which was Pokemon Fire Red, I did not beat the Elite Four ever.
The Elite Four was hard. I'll give you that.
Yeah, they were hard, but also like I was 6 at the time trying to beat the Elite Four, so like I didn't. Like, obviously, I didn't really know all the, like, smaller mechanics and details to, like, that would have made it easier.
Yeah, the defense debuffs and the attack buffs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, that stuff, that type of thing. But the thing is that, like, it still haunts me to this day that I never beat it, and I'm just, like, afraid to go back to it even after all these years.
Yeah. Actually, my confession is that I actually beat the Elite Four, and when I went back to it, because I knew now that there's a lot more, things to Pokemon than just attack.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Wait, how is that a confession? That's not a confession. That's a flex.
That's a flex.
Weird flex. But okay, fam. All right then. I see how it is. Just have to flex on me, don't you?
Yeah.
You really just had to. Anyways, so talking about flexing, Rajang is in Monster Hunter World now.
That is true. Yes.
Rajang is in Monster Hunter World. The lightning angry monkey. Have not gotten to him yet, unfortunately, but based on what I've seen, I am hyped.
Yeah, no, like, it's a very tough fight, like, because they buffed him a lot, because he go double twice into, like, 2 moves, which is inside the original games were just, like, unheard of, and, like, if you got caught up twice, you'd be carded instantly.
Yeah. No, like, he just, from a fundamental level, just looks busted. Monster Hunter World is my first Monster Hunter game. Like, I will let that be known now. And, like, I know a little bit about the previous generations. Rajang before World already looked like he was a monster.
He was.
In my opinion, like, from my perspective. And, like, I feel like they didn't really have to make him any better, like, porting him over. But they did anyways.
Yeah. They literally took like a bunch of steroids and shoved it down his throat.
Yes, exactly.
And be like, you fight now. Go, go.
It's literally just watching like a tiny electric King Kong just like bash everybody's head in.
Yeah, it's a bull. It's a gorilla.
Yep.
It's like all these things mixed into one. It's the scariest thing you ever see. But like when you actually beat them, it's so rewarding.
Oh no, yeah.
Cause like a bunch of the I've been playing since like a little more of I've been playing since like 3DS stage, like the remake of Tri, and also like Gen 4 Generations Ultimate. Sorry, Gen 4 is what they call it inside.
Yeah.
Was it Gen 4? No, it was like Ultimate 4 or 4 Ultimate.
Whichever one it was,
Yeah, and then I crossed over to like Generations and like on the 3DS, but like, that was the final game for 3DS, so like until they ported to Switch.
Yep.
And I was really happy they ported the Generation Ultimate to Switch, and you're able to carry over your data. That saved a lot of time. I would not have to complete the basic story over again, because I don't like some of the characters, because it's just kind of annoying. So I think the main difference of like the handheld versus the console games, like it's less Japanesey. Like it sounds bad, but like for a Western audience, I don't think they would like certain characters in that game, cause like literally there's like one based off like a hot spring town. There's one based off like a Dutch or Norwegian village.
Yep.
And like there's another one like for my favorite one was the caravan from 4 Ultimate.
Yep.
So like you had those cool characters come in, like cameo and kind of stuff, but like I could see like some uncomfortability because like there's one big like once you finish like the midpoint quest, like because like every monster section is like cut into like 2 different ones where it's like, okay, you fought the Nergiante, but now get ready for the whatchamacallit? Valhalla? No, not Valhalla, because that's the new one.
Velkhana is the new one.
New one.
Wait, who came after Nergigante?
Yeah, the Lifeform one.
Xeno'jiiva.
Xeno'jiiva, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Xeno'jiiva. They always, like, if you ever play Monster Hunter game, that's what they're going to do. They're going to be like, oh, you thought it was over? Here's the second half for the high rank quests. So it's just kind of like, oh, like, I'm not done yet, which is great from a gameplay standpoint, but, like, you put a lot of time and effort in this, and, like, you get little out of it, too.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the thing about Monster Hunter is like it's this slow progression and building yourself up to face these monsters, which I like.
Yeah, like the thing about Monster Hunter, like just as pretty much a newbie to it, like it is a really serious hard grind, but it's a rewarding hard grind that like I genuinely feel like I'm working towards something. Because whenever I make a new weapon, I can like see, or like a new weapon or new armor, I can visibly see, hey, this is my achievement. It's really good. I did it. I feel great. So, and like going back to like Rajang, the Rajang armor and the Rajang weapons look phenomenal.
I have not seen them yet because...
Like, okay, his hammer is literally just like a little ball Rajang with 2 horns on the side, and when you charge it up, it electrifies.
Oh, so it's paralysis effect then?
Yeah,
is it?
No, I think it's Thunder
It's just electric elements?
I think it's Thunder Element. Or,
okay.
Yeah, whatever that is. But no, yeah, it's like, it's just hilarious to look at. But also for me, it creates such like a really dramatic contrast to these awesome looking Rajang weapons to bits on sticks.
Oh boy.
I had to bring it up. I'm sorry. Bits on sticks is horrible. Like,
so, for those who don't know, there is a little bit of controversy in the design of some of the weapons inside of Monster Hunter World with the
Glavenus greatsword.
Glavenus and the Brachydios weapons were toned down because they look like just bone weapons with just added bits and pieces of the monster added onto it, which was not cool at all.
Bits on sticks.
Not cool, Capcom.
Okay,
not
but
cool,
here's
dudes.
the thing. No. Here's the thing. Your Palico can have a proper Glavenus greatsword as its weapon.
I actually saw that.
Literally, all you would need to do is just take that, scale it up, boom, that's it. They already put all the effort in. Why would they not go the extra mile to do it right? Like, it's just...
Because, like, I understand they wanted to give, like, all the weapons, like, a new reach and, like, new design. But, like, some of the old weapons, though, like, are kind of iconic. Like, when Brachydios first came out, like, that was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. Because you had this nice green slime contrasting with the nice blue.
Yeah, and he would punch the life out of you and light you up and explode you.
Yeah, it gave you the bomb side assailment.
Yeah. No, yeah, like... It's really weird to me that they went, like, so hard in weapon design in previous generations, but now we're stuck with bits on sticks. However, what I have heard from the greatsword community is that they are no longer under the tyranny of bits on. Well, no, I wish. No, they're no longer under the influence of Glavinus bits on sticks greatsword. They have the Rajang greatsword, which is essentially a spiked club. So it doesn't really look like a greatsword, but apparently you can get much higher damage and much higher numbers out of it. So that essentially kind of saved the greatsword meta from a aesthetic perspective, from what I can tell. So I think Rajang...
Well, also, numbers don't really matter inside Monster Hunter World.
Well, yeah.
Because they scale it. It's scaling.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
Exactly.
Because, like, 500 point hammer will do the same damage roughly about, like, 100...
No,
or
yeah,
50,
it's
even
more...
50 damage dual blades, because dual blades hit a lot more than a hammer does.
No, yeah, like, I know that it's less about, like, how much the weapon does in one hit, as opposed to how much will that do over time of, like, the hunt itself. Like, I get that, and I think that's really important. It's just, like, I, personally, if I was a greatsword user, would be very frustrated if I was stuck with using a bits on sticks piece of junk. Like, I know that would bug me, like, just mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
I know this for a fact that there are already mods on the Nexus for Monster Hunter World for PC, and I guarantee it when the Iceborne expansion comes out for PC, they will mod it so heavily that it will look like the original Monster Hunter, like on the Switch or like the 3DS.
Which makes me want to buy for the PC since I bought for the PS4.
Yeah.
But again, that's money I don't have. I'm a college student. I do not have.
Honestly, I don't play Greatsword or any of those, but like I play Insect Glaive and Switch Axe.
Yep.
Two things that I will main constantly.
Yep.
I might switch between hunting horde, just because for the memes.
Yeah.
Because like hunting hordes are pretty good. Like
they're
support buff.
Like they're criminally underrated.
Yeah. I think it's just a fact that you have to stop every once in a while to play the tune and then keep dodging and moving.
But like realistically speaking, there's always at least a little downtime. I feel like with every weapon, like some less than others. Like if you're an Insect Glaive user, or like a dual blades user, you're gonna be in the monster space like the whole time.
Yeah.
Essentially. Only time you're not going to be is if you're A, dodging, or B, firing off your Kinsect.
Yeah.
Like, but again, like, Hunting Horn, I personally haven't used it. I would love to try it at some point. It's just kind of against my playstyle, because I do like that in-your-face.
You like to get up close and personal.
Yeah, I want to beat the crap out of you, and I want to beat the crap out of you as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun for me in terms of Insect Glaive. So wait, like, you've been playing a little bit, right? Like, how do you feel about the new, like, combos, like, that have...
I think for Insect Glaive, personally, the Clutch Claw doesn't do much, because you already have that ability to jump and get the monster.
Yeah.
Overall, if, like, you have a lower grade weapon, and, like, you're only at, like, blue sharpness, for example, it does serve a purpose of, like, oh, I could just grapple on, and then kind of get the point I want, and then hop off, and then go back again, topple, and then hit that part over and over again.
Yeah.
But besides that, a lot of the combos for, like, I think for Longsword look interesting now.
Yeah.
Because, like, they got buffed, I think, if I remember correctly.
I think they did. I know that there's, like, now a better counter of some type or whatever. I think, actually... Or no, I think one of the things they did is that they made it easier to build up your gauges.
Oh, your gauge?
Yeah, your gauges.
Gauges.
Gauges. Tomato.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
So
I say gauges.
Yeah, no. But, no, yeah, I think a lot of what they did for, like, updating the weapon, like, combos themselves, I think they did a lot of good. It just felt a little underwhelming for Insect Glaive.
Yeah.
Just because, like, again, like, yeah, they did the stuff with the Kinsect where, like, you put your ammo in it or whatever you have in your slinger, and it can use that, like, when you send it off, but that's assuming, like, the monster
it has, like, a dragon pod or, like, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, but, like, that's assuming also that, like, the monster isn't gonna move.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
When you fire off the Kinsect, because, like, yeah, they move at a decent speed.
Yeah,
but
honestly, a lot of times when I play Kinsect, it's like, okay, if I'm running out, like, I'll let the gauge go out first, and then I'll just get up close to the person, whack a couple times, and then probably get what I want. Because like the closer you are to the monster, the faster you can get the extract. The faster you can get the power ups back.
Yep.
So like it's very key to like kind of balance that. Like if it's like charging up for a big attack, just go from behind. Because like there are a lot of times there's a lot of big tells like for Nergiante, like that dive it does.
Yeah,
the hitbox makes no sense too.
Well, okay, so my logic behind the hitbox for his dive bomb, like just to make me feel better emotionally and mentally, is that he's got spikes on his body when he's doing his dive bomb. They probably just splinter off and hit you.
I guess.
That's really.
But when you think about it, okay,
that's
so
the only solace I can take.
Basically, what it looks like right now is that it's a like a pyramid, like it's heavy on one side, so it tipped over. So it's like that and like this, like a straight line down, cut off right there. What it should have been like a reverse, where it's like, okay, here's the pin here, and like come out as a square rather than a triangle straight down. So if you had a square, it come down like there, and like it'll be a nice wider range of it, and it'll be like a little. If like you're up in the air and you get hit, you're though. But like if you get hit though, like it won't do as much. Like you won't get caught as easily though.
Yeah. No, it's definitely. I like the Nergigante fight, like as a whole. That's just really for me one annoying part.
Yeah.
Speaking of annoying things in Monster Hunter Iceborne, Viper Tobi Kadachi, I don't like it at all. That's really the only subspecies that I have a problem with, which is good. But Viper Tobi Kadachi is literally just somebody like dropped Toby in a vat of acid and took him back out and like just sprinkled him with some poison and was just like, all right, go do whatever you want. Yeah. It's literally
Honestly,
just Tobi Kadachi with a bad
I
spray
don't
tan.
like playing against. I don't like hunting Tobi Kadachi because like it's just
in general.
I don't like the design of the monster for some reason. It just doesn't click.
I mean, like I feel like they did a lot with the design. Like they put a lot of different.
It's just like a lizard flying squirrel.
It's a snake. It's a squirrel. It's a wolf. It's a lot of different things all in one, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think as a whole, his design is very cohesive, but like. Going from seeing him like on the ground or like hanging onto a tree, okay, he looks relatively normal, but then all of a sudden he jumps off and he's got whatever those
webbing,
vestigial, the webbing on his like between his legs, and that's just disturbing. But like for me, it works. But like going back to Viper Tobi Kadachi, like the difference for me between Paralysis and Thunder Element isn't that big of a difference for me. Yeah. Like. I know objectively they do like different things. They differ, yes. They do different things. Like element damage is not the same thing as like paralysis. Applying like status like
honestly
abnormal status.
Like I still run the Pookie.
You do?
Yeah, because like it's poison element too.
Yeah, true.
I differ between the Nergiante the Nergiante Encyclave and like the Pookie one because like once you poison the monster, you already know like you're already doing chip damage at the health basically. So like, the hunting will go probably faster. And plus, if you're hunting down a monster that you just need to capture, it's a lot faster and feels less of a grind. Yeah. To do that.
Well, yeah, because like the damage like build up.
It's damage build up.
Like it definitely helps. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Speaking of grinding, I've been playing Dragon Quest XI.
Oh, you have?
Echoes of Hallucination.
I haven't gotten into that like at all.
Yeah, so basically for this one, it's like, so there's a game called Octopath Traveler that I love just because of the soundtrack, but like, and the bit art style that Square Enix uses, and like the backgrounds and stuff, and the compositing and like the art direction, but like for Dragon Quest XI, it is a bit of a grind to level up in certain places. I would definitely say though that it's worth the buy, but then so I'll write a review on this later, but my personal gripes with it is that the leveling is kind of like not to scale, because like for Square Enix did a great job of this with like the sound with the soundtrack and like all the music and stuff, but like a little bit of the gameplay design, the auto run is a little funky too, where it's like you run, but like you're not supposed to use like the left stick. You're supposed to use the top R and L buttons to change directions, which is kind of janky because like it's not like a sharp turn. It's kind of like a veer. So it's like you have problems with that when turning. Other than that, like I just kind of like sometimes I don't have the time to sit down with certain games and be like, I had to play all this through because it's such an engaging story. Like I've definitely fallen off at certain points.
Yep.
The story. One of the most pressing points of the story was when I was facing the Kraken boss. So, yeah. So basically, if you ever watched like the video game Donkey.
Yeah, Donkey.
So he did a
Donkey,
review
yeah.
on it, and one of my complaints was the same as his, where the Kraken boss. You got stuck at that part because you were underleveled, and you didn't understand how Square Enix does do their RPGs.
Yep.
Because a lot of times, for Octopath Traveler, they told you what level you should be recommended to be
Yep.
when facing this boss. So I definitely put a lot more time in leveling characters that I needed, like healers and like support and like front attacker.
Yep.
But like for this one, there's nothing to say like, oh yeah, you're like 10 levels under level.
Ooh.
So you had to go like grind. Yeah. So so the quest line for that one was like basically the Little Mermaid, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
The cameraman Dylan, my roommate, he was there for that, and he knows what went on. I had trouble with the Kraken part, and then I just laughed off at the story because one, they had a bad British accent for the mermaid. It was very high pitched. You want to come on and talk about it?
No, I'm good.
No, you're good?
You can
Okay.
kill it.
Okay. So it was very like kind of like, so a lot of the time that like these RPGs, they have weird British accents. I don't know what's
Really?
yeah. So like any English dub like an RPG is a British accent. So like I don't understand, like is it just like the art director saying oh, or the voice director or the voice director would be like,
Well, I mean, like,
I think that a British accent will work because it's a fantasy genre, but
Yeah.
like it works inside the Hobbit standpoint.
yep.
But like a lot of other fantasy though, like you need to like tailor it to like towards the like certain people. But like I understand like why they went with it because like, it's like oldie English, like agey heroes, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Where it's
yeah.
like you're on a quest to go save the world from the evil darkness, which is the entire and any plot of any Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
That's literally any plot that you will ever see inside of that at all. Was literally like oh. You're the chosen one. You go on a quest to find the MacGuffins, and then you have to go save the world. And then you might find some little characters on the way to help you with that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I had with the MacGuffins is that back to the mermaid part. So spoilers for anyone who wants to play this game. This is a spoiler section. I will put a link in like or a time period where you can switch to. But like okay, so first off, you get on a ship from a port.
Yep.
So basically, your comrade Silvando is a son of a nobleman inside Puerto Valor. You get on his ship, and then you have to go sail out into the ocean. So once you get to the ocean, though, you're immediately stopped at this cutscene where you're stranded onside an island bar, a sandbar, basically.
Yep.
So basically, you have to go meet the mermaid and be like, and she's like, "Oh, I've been waiting here for years for my fiance to come back from his village," and then you're like, "Okay." Let's go find him. We'll find him for you. But there's also an option to say no to that question, and I did. And literally, your side character, one of the side characters, like that's a horrible thing to do. Of course, we'll go help you. So like anytime you say no in that game, it will immediately be not resurrected.
Like one of the characters will.
We'll say we'll do it for
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And I kind of had fun with it because like it's a lot. I like being that kind of guy where it's like, no, I don't want to help you. Because, like, I remember, like, playing Skyrim and, like,
Devil's advocate,
Fallout 4, where it's like, even though, like, you had the jerk answer, but, like, I would like to, I download mods saying, like, download the Fallout 4 mod where, like, you can look at the answers of what you're going to give.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the jerk lines were funny, though. They're funny. They're generally funny. But back to the Dragon Quest. So you go to the village, and it's supposed to be this, like, nice, like, kind of Hawaiian, like, southern tropical paradise, but like all the men are out fighting this giant squid because it's been ruining the tourism and like the pearls exports.
Yep.
So you're like, oh yeah, let's go find this person, and you're told like, oh, he's fighting the thing, and then you go fight the squid. But then when you get to the squid though, you think that you'll be fine for it, but you're underleveled for some reason. You don't know why. The squid's almost knocking you down to like 10 health every single time with tentacles. So after failing twice, I decided like, okay, there's gotta be some sort of trick to this. So the trick to this is that it forces you to go back, which is like, okay, gain the time. It forces you to go back and explore the area that you came from.
Okay, yeah.
So when I traveled up to the top of a hill though, I saw a lady with a cannon, and she had a little like little
Did you
exclamation.
have to shoot it with a cannon? or-
No. So basically, the krakens that that live in the area don't like loud noises.
Yep.
So like she'll give you a cannon, but she won't give you any ammo for it because like they're memorials for her dead husband.
Yep.
like she won't, like she said, like, oh, I won't allow my babies to hurt another living creature. That's literally one of the lines they say. So once that happens, you're like, oh, cool, canon. And literally, it saves you like 3 turns of like knocking the Kraken unconscious. So you get 3 turns to knock both tentacles down and start wailing on the monster.
Yeah.
But after that, you get back to the village. You have a party, and then you go try to find the guy who the mermaid's waiting for. His name's Kai. So basically, you find the guy, but it's his grandson. His name is not Kai, it's Kai Noah.
Yeah.
Named similar after his grandfather. So then you're like, oh shit. Well, I don't know how to say this, but you kind of already guessed it that mermaids live more than like 500 years,
Something along those lines,
time goes different for them.
Immortal,
yeah, it's like fairy tale genre, I guess. So like time goes slowly for them, differently, whatever.
Yep.
And then you realize like, oh, and then you're like, oh, like okay. So you go back. She's like, oh, I would like to still meet his grandson though. So you take her, you go back to the sandbar. You have to sail back, which sucks.
Yeah.
So you sail back, and then you clear the situation and be like, oh yeah, so he's dead. His grandson's there though, so like, can't I have him MacGuffin now? She's like, no, I want to meet him. And like, but then you have to sail back too, because you can't zoom back, which is the fast travel mechanism they have. You can't zoom back, so you have to sail back, which is like a good like 30 seconds. So like, but like zoom takes like 5. So you sail back, you go there. But then you realize, like, oh, I have to go traverse through the village to the other side of the peninsula. But the problem is that you have to go through the one point, which is the church, which leads to the graveyard. Because, like, the story I got from that is that, oh, when Kai was stranded on the sandbar, the mermaid nursed him back to health. And then when he sailed off, he was like, oh, I'll come back. But then when he told his people, like, oh, yeah, a mermaid helped me, they kind of sort of ostracized him, being like, oh, he's under the mermaid's curse. Yeah. Which is understandable, because, like, humans are, like, the kind of people like, oh, we don't know about it, so we fear it. Yeah. So, like, they're scared of Kai, and they think it's a disaster. Because, like, right afterwards, so basically Kai, so there's a bunch of story holes that are there. One plot line is that Kai was supposed to marry, like, another person. But once he came back and told him about the mermaid, he was kicked out of the village, so the lady married another person. But when the father and like the husband and the father of the wife went out to go fishing, they didn't come back because they died. Yeah. And then upon hearing that, the lady goes try to jump off a cliff on the side that Kai was ostracized to the graveyard. Yeah. And then he saves, and with her she has a girl, like a little baby. So he swims out to save the baby, but he only can save the baby and not the woman himself. So, but then the villagers find out and like they try to go take the baby, but like they think it's like the child of the mermaid and him. Yeah. So they kind of like, oh, we're gonna step back from this, and then kind of like ostracize both of them. Yeah. But at the end, like the girl grows up and then she kind of like gets normalized into the village, and she marries and has Kai Noah. Yeah. But then that's the whole like kind of sort of plot line with Kai. Yeah. And like the main thing I was like, oh god, can this just go faster? Because there's a lot of dialogue where it's like, oh, my little sweet prince is gone. I'm sorry. But like the one thing that pissed me off was that, so you know the tale of the Little Mermaid where once the mermaid walks on land and she can't come back to the ocean or she'll turn to sea foam. Yeah. So basically the same thing happens with the mermaids apparently in this universe. And that just is just like, Jesus, like that's kind of dark, but like I get it. It's kind of a fairy tale. It's supposed to teach a lesson. But like right when you get to the point where it's like, oh, I'm supposed to get my reward now. Like I need this to get along my quest. I'm done with the storyline. You kind of feel like that you're really done with it. So basically before she dies, not before she dies. So before she dies. She walks on land to go, and she literally kisses the Kai's grave.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, right? And then she walks back to the water, and it's a nice cutscene, like she walking in, and then her like diving down and turning into sea foam and disintegrating. But I'm like, she didn't give me my prize yet. I need to get along with this plot point. And like from there, like I don't remember, but like there wasn't really a clear line. You have to go back to the place where you met her and you receive a special harp to take you to the next place. Yeah. So it's like kind of like stringing you along with these events. Like I was just like not really into it.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But that was just the first 16 hours of the game.
Oh.
So if I would say there's technically 4 acts in this game. So basically, once you get all your party members, that's Act 1.
Yep.
Act 2 starts when you have to start hunting the MacGuffins.
Yep.
The 6 magic orbs, basically. So basically the Dragon Balls.
Yep.
It's literally the Dragon Balls to literally get up to the World Tree. But after the World Tree, it's part 3. But
Yep.
then I heard, and when I read online, I was like, oh, what to do? Like, there's apparently a secret part 4 at the end where after a credits roll, you have the ability to go back in time and and redo part 3.
Yep.
And basically solve all the problems before you get to it because you know the future already.
Yeah,
You know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited for that part to see how that handles with time travel and stuff. But, also, the quest inside of that, once you hit a certain point, you can't go back, and they didn't tell me that. Yeah. So I failed, to do a bunch of quests because, after that, there's kind of you can't go back anymore because these NPCs are missing. I'm like, cool, thanks, Square Enix. I can't get 100% because I did not.
Oh, you're a 100%er.
I am a big 100%er because I have the patience of a saint sometimes when dealing with JRPGs because I know they're grindy.
Yep.
I feel like the only JRPG that does well inside the West is Pokemon.
Well, yeah.
Just because it's for children.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to take that the wrong way. It's it is a game for children. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a children's card game, but adults play it.
It's rated E for everyone.
It's rated E for everyone because
exactly.
Nintendo really did a good job of casting the wide net out.
Yeah.
But overall, I think some JRPGs Xenoblade did a good job of making sure it's not too grindy because they had difficulty modes. But Dragon Quest though, the fun thing about that is that there is just no easy mode for that. You only get harder. That's it. There's only harder difficulties you can do. So but in order to start over and then get the harder difficulties. Yeah. You have to create a whole new save file.
Oh, that's...
Yeah,
why?
and you already put enough time to this game that I feel like I already sunk my teeth into all right, I'm gonna play this to the end because I already have I hit the second part of it already, and it's just I'm gonna play this to the end, but I'm not sure I'm gonna come back to it because it's just way too much work to dive back unless I have new game plus that I don't know about.
Yep.
But after that, it's just kind of I'm not gonna come back to it.
Yeah, so it doesn't exactly have a lot of
replay value.
Yeah, replay value.
And that's a lot of the things with RPGs. If they don't have a new game plus or extended story, continuing story, it will drop off for me.
Yeah.
But for Xenoblade Chronicles though, it had extra quests they had to do at the end because it immediately takes you back to before the fight of the final boss, basically against Malos.
Yeah.
So you either you try to do a game every time, or you literally just keep going back over and finishing the quest, which is really nice. And trying to get all the blades, but that's another thing about these things is that the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a gacha game technically.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, the way it works is that only certain people can have the power to awaken blades, which are or should have cores.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, you have to bond with a blade, and if you don't, you die or get injured heavily. But when you do though, you could get blades, but there's common blades, rare blades.
Yeah.
And the rare blades, you'll know it's a rare blade because it's either an anime character or it's it has a different voice than everyone else. But with a common blade, you get 50 of them over the course of playthrough because you have to unlock them.
You have to unlock them?
Because
you just don't have a choice?
You don't have a choice because at certain parts of the game where it's you need to have certain blades with certain abilities to do certain checkpoints. So, for example, one of them is Water Mastery. I need to have a level 5 Water Mastery, which is impossible for a one blade to have. So you need 2 blades to have Water Mastery, either a 2 and a 3 or a 4 and a 1 to get Water Mastery. And then you have to have other things botany also helps get more fruit produce or whatever. And when you farm stuff, which is a big part of that game, a lot of games is just quest delivery. So you will be oh yeah. This person over here needs this. You go do the fish quest. That's all it is. But a lot of times you pick up these things naturally when just oh, shiny spot, pick up, move on.
Yeah. Same thing with Monster Hunter. You see
just shine, pick up,
as soon
get
as
up, move on.
Yeah. If it looks even mildly bright, just ADHD immediately, or my ADD just goes off and I'm just ooh, shiny.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing about that too is that once you leave the air, it automatically responds when you get back.
Yeah,
so you literally just go back between fast travel points and be here, there's one. Yeah, there's one thing I need. I go back. Here's the second thing I need. It's fun. So.
Yeah.
That game has a lot of anime waifus, I'll say.
Jesus. You just had to throw waifus in there, didn't you?
It is, like...
Come on, man. On my good Christian podcast.
It's not even your podcast.
I know it's not my podcast. Let me have my fun.
Yes.
God.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now.
No. No. I'm the captain. I am the captain.
I am the captain.
No. Jesus Christ.
Anything else you've been playing over the past week?
I mean, I recently got into Warframe.
I never played it.
Yeah,
but, like,
it's definitely a different type of game. I'm trying to stick with it because I feel like I'm just like too early on to like really just
enjoy it.
Like, yeah,
is it like a MMORPG?
Sort of. It's really weird. Like the squads, you can either have up to 2 or 4 like for a mission or whatever, but like I'm not too overly invested in it. That's more just like if I'm bored.
Yeah,
like,
so it's just like pop it open if you
Yeah.
have spare time.
But no, yeah. One thing I have been keeping up with very religiously is League of Legends 10-year anniversary.
Oh.
So that happened recently.
And
they're
interesting?
they're gonna release a ton of stuff. There's a new Annie skin. They're releasing they're giving all their players like special gifts, or one special gift per day.
Oh, so
yeah,
so it is basically what they do for like gacha games, where it's like, log in for this day, you get this.
Yeah, essentially. So they're doing that up until I think World's Finals, and then
That makes sense, yeah.
yeah, like it makes sense for
Because
them
the World's
to do that.
Finals is what, like?
It's soon. It's like
soon.
November.
It's like November
12th, something.
Yeah, it's that
along
weekend.
those lines, 12th
So it's like first or second week in November.
Yeah, it's around that time. So, actually, one of the big things that they're releasing is actually really funny. So it's an Annie skin. Annie doesn't need another skin, but I will let it pass with this one, which is essentially Anniversary Annie, which is Anniversary. And her Tibbers is just a giant Teemo, which I don't know if you have any experience with League of Legends at all.
No, I don't. Is
So-
Annie the one with the little girl with the teddy bear?
Yeah,
Okay.
So Teemo is essentially League of Legends, like, equivalent to Satan, alright? Everybody hates Teemo.
Oh.
But he just looks like a little rat. So he's just a Yordle. He's like this big. He's like a hamster who shoots poison darts at you. It's really freaking annoying. But in this Annie skin, he's like jacked 8'5" or whatever
He's buff,
it is.
right?
Yeah. He's a big buff Teemo, and he has brass knuckles. But the brass knuckles are just like poisonous mushrooms that he punches you with.
Exactly. Okay, that makes
Like,
sense. It's literally that meme of like the me, life, and then
Yeah. The what is it? That Tom and Jerry meme where it's just like Tom and then Jerry and then the baby elephant that looks like Jerry and then the mother elephant that looks like
Jerry,
so
yeah.
along those lines. Yeah. No, that's been a lot of fun to like follow up on. Worlds has been like I'm really disappointed in like C9, Cloud9, which is one of the American teams.
Yeah.
Because they just got knocked out today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they like got knocked out 2-4, like 2 wins, 4 losses.
Oh.
I mean, they won their last game, which is okay. That's not a horrible.
But like this is when
note to
it
end on.
starts mattering, right?
Yeah, no, like it's group stages. Like it's the end of group stages, or like I think it's mid to late group stages right now. So this is when like you don't want to be messing up right now, but unfortunately they gaffed it.
And just like, no.
Yeah, like part of me.
I mean, that happens though. It's
Yeah.
like Cloud9's like I think is really good. The only
Yeah.
thing like I've watched Cloud9 inside of Funhouse where they play Overwatch against Chief Hunter. That's the only thing I've actually watched that relates to Cloud9.
Well, see,
It's like they're pretty good, I believe. Like,
Yeah.
but like everyone has their off days too.
Yeah,
where It's
exactly.
like,
But, like,
oh,
here's
this
the thing.
happens and that.
My problem is that Sneaky pulls out some weird stuff that he should not be playing, because I think it was last Worlds that he played Victor Bot. He got smacked. I'm just like, Sneaky, play an ADC. It's what you're good at. Please, for the love of God. Just for the love of God, play something you're good at. Not this weird, like, Victor Bot, Zoe Bot, or whatever it is. Please, just whip out an ADC. That's all I'm asking.
The team needs you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like Sneaky is one of those veteran players where it's just like he's been around for a very long time.
Yeah, so like, if like he knows, you probably think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, like I feel like he's might retire after
Soon.
this Worlds, or at least relatively soon. The problem is that he's sneaky. He's like his name is essentially a brand name
Yeah.
at this point. And it's really hard to like get rid of like those players who have such a like significant name in the LCS, like Faker. Faker is an absolute god. He's been around with SKT since the very beginning, but like we're never gonna see the end of him.
He's gonna be playing when he's 82 years old. He's gonna be sitting down
Faker would
like this.
Faker would, and like don't get me wrong, I love SKT. It's just they won 3 worlds. I'm just like, okay.
Is Faker Korean?
Yeah, he is. SKT is a Korean team. He's from Korea. Yeah.
All right.
So, no, yeah, but like,
literally any like American esports team like we have.
Yeah, no, like that's the thing. Like people like, see, League of Legends is an American-made game.
Yeah, but like
no American teams have won.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the South Koreans or the Chinese.
Well, no, I mean like the EU team. There was an EU team winner, and then like yes, a lot of Korean teams have won. Like after that, but like again, I just want to see NA win once. Like TSM has gotten pretty far a couple times, but again they just choke. C9 has gotten pretty far a couple times. They choke at some point, and it's like. But they choke it dissatisfyingly. It's not like, oh, they just got beat.
It's not like
they'll
literally like overtime last match where it's like that they lose by like 2 to 3 games, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. It's not like they put up a really good fight. Like, oh, it was going back and forth the whole series, and then they just lost the last one. It's really just like when they do lose like important games, it's always the ones where it's just like they get smacked.
Yeah.
It's just really disappointing. I think... I'm not sure what American teams are still in right now. I think Team Liquid is. I'm really hoping that they'll at least get to semifinals just to get us that far. I know C9 did a really good job last Worlds, I think. I think they got all the way to semifinals, unless that was like the year before. But again, they choked. They got beat by Invictus Gaming, actually. And then Invictus Gaming went on to win the Worlds. So it would be nice to, it would be nice to eventually see like a American team win, especially this year. Just because like with how season 9 has been going, like there's a lot of stuff you can do. There's a lot of stuff that works. Like I feel like the meta is definitely a little more flexible, except for like a couple key things. Like if you don't have Xayah, then you have Rakan. If you don't have Rakan, then you have Xayah. But if you want to have either Rakan or Xayah. Like it's
are those healers or supports?
So Xayah is an ADC, which is like marksman, like damage dealer.
Oh,
and
okay,
then
so it's
Rakan is
like
Rakan is a support healer, like type of thing.
So you have a DPS or a support, basically.
Yeah, in bot lane you always have a DPS and a support. Usually that's like, but like right now there's this weird trend going on where it's just like having one tank support and one healer support in the bot lane, which works oddly well in the right scenarios, but again, like you have to really
that gets shut down very easily.
Yeah, you have to really know what you're doing in the early game, like to establish like a good start and then be able to stay relevant mid to late game. But like if you don't do very well in the bot lane with that type of a comp, then you're just kind of screwed for the rest of the game. Like, yeah, you're still a healer, you're still a tank, you're still very useful. But now that leaves, let's see, top, jungle, and mid to pull the rest of the way of the team. But sometimes you do get support mid on top of having a support bot lane. And so in those cases, now you're only left with 2 damage dealers, but one of them is probably a tank, so whatever damage they do, it feels like you're getting hit with a wet pool noodle. So that really only leaves 1 damage dealer. Like, a common trend is having Sona and Tahm Kench, from what I've seen. Sona can do a ton of damage. Do not get me wrong. It's just like, if she doesn't do well early game, she's going to be messed up for the rest of the game.
And then once you're locked into hero or...
No, yeah, it's not like you can... Yeah, like with League of Legends, you can't just like swap out.
You can't swap out.
It's not Overwatch, like at all. It's not just like, oh, okay, this isn't working, I'll swap out. Nope. As soon as you lock in,
you're screwed.
That's who you are for the rest of the game. But like that, like I think that creates a really interesting dynamic in comparison to Overwatch.
It creates more of a team balance where it's like you need to know like, okay, you need to have one healer at least or someone support character
but like
on there.
I think it goes beyond that because like I think it creates a much more competitive atmosphere because, like, when you pick your characters, it's called the pick and ban phase. You pick your characters, you ban other characters that you don't want the enemy team having. They do the same, and then you do that until both teams of 5 have their champions. So, like, what that does is that if a team, you can basically have a 75% chance of winning the game just from picks and bans.
Yeah, because you can literally ban like a player's main, right?
Yeah, exactly. Picks and bans are huge. Like, you can have a decent champ pool, but like there's always going to be that one champion that you want to have, enemy team's going to ban it. Or like somehow they get through, like your champion gets through. Oh, they could pick it. They could have somebody who's like maybe not quite as good as like the enemy team's main, but like they could have that. And now you're kind of like screwed over because you don't have that champion that you're really good at. Like, yes, your champ pool can be like expansive, but if that champion is just strong in general in terms of the meta, like a recent addition to the game was Kiana, and she is busted in the right hands. Like,
oh yeah, he's like
she's
if you just added
busted.
in like literally there's have been like it's probably been added with a recent like update where it's like there has not been any update since then to like fix it though because you have to see how it does in the meta. That's how every
like
game
they do
works
have to see how it does like in the meta, but League of Legends and Riot, it's like their return rate on updates is actually pretty consistent. So from what I've seen, they'll give a champion like 1 to 2 weeks.
And then
like
see how it does.
Yeah, within the meta, see how they're doing, adjust it a little bit here and there, and then they'll leave it alone unless absolutely necessary to come back to it. So like I was saying, Kiana, she's absolutely busted. She does a ton of damage. She is slippery. Like you cannot catch her if she does not want to be caught. And like if she doesn't have anything on cooldown, she's running away.
And then she's
or she could just completely turn on you because of her kit. Like, I can't remember all the exact, like, abilities she has offhand, but she has 2 dashes that do damage. That's, like, actually pretty uncommon in terms of, like, champions, like, their designs from, like, just from start to finish. It's a really high skill cap, high skill, like, ceiling type of ability set that she has. And so, like, I want to see Faker play her. I don't know, like, I haven't been able to keep up with all the games just because college, again. Yeah.
School.
But I do want to see Faker get on, like, Kiana for a game at the very least. Because I feel like he could pull another, like, Zed from 2013, 2014 and just completely destroy everybody, like, on the enemy team.
Right.
But no, yeah, like, that's my rant. After your
Dragon Quest rant,
yeah,
that's fair. I went off on Dragon Quest.
No, yeah, no, I completely understand. No, yeah, like it feels weird to say this after you just like ranted it. Like, but I actually opted not to get Dragon Quest or
11?
Whichever it is, 11. Yeah.
On Switch. You have a Switch?
Yeah, I have a Switch. No, like I have a Switch. I'm gonna get Pokemon too.
Oh no, like, you get Generations, dude. Get Generations. We'll play.
For Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
No, yeah, like do I have it? I can't remember if I have it. But anyways, as I was saying,
you should get it, but you don't have it.
I didn't get Dragon Quest 11 specifically because
you don't like anime.
No, I
ban anime.
No, I love anime. Man, step off. No, I didn't get it because you can't customize the main character.
Well, that's fine. No, like in a lot of other games, you can't customize the main character.
No, yeah, but like if I'm gonna play an RPG, I would like to have like some type of input in.
I feel like if you're playing a MMO RPG, maybe you should have.
Like I get that, like with Final Fantasy, like I don't want to look anything that isn't Cloud. I want to play Cloud.
Yeah,
that's what I'm playing.
Well, because a lot of Square Enix doesn't like do mods because it's model swapping.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times, like when I played Final Fantasy 15 on PC, I modded that really hard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Glavenus is wearing like a weird costume. I'm wearing a sombrero, and it just like looks weird. There's a video online of like the first time you go to the gas station and meet Cindy.
Yeah.
And Sid. Literally, like, oh, is the prince in that? And like, you pop up. It's just you looking up in a sombrero and like a mariachi outfit.
Mariachi outfit.
It's just like, it's just like jarring, and that's like, it kind of takes you out of the immersion, which like, like if you're trying to tell a story, immersion is probably the biggest thing that you will
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
have to do.
Like you don't want to like have enough time to think like, oh, that looks weird.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
wanna-
like about Jump Force or or the gameplay about Jump Force was like when you created a character, you can make him look god awful. Same with Dark Souls and stuff.
Yeah.
You can make him look god awful, but like with Dark Souls, it's a style where it's like, oh, this person looks ugly because it's like medieval and like the probably got
Jump
squished.
Force is just like you look
It just
ugly to
okay.
look ugly.
Let's how it's literally like how anime can I make this character? How can I make his hair spiky like this? Can I make his skin blue?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like just how weird can I make this character?
Exactly, and like I don't mind like things like that, but it just looks jarring and takes me out of like the game. And like a lot of times with Monster Hunter World though,
Yeah.
a lot of players made joke characters and like they started
Yeah,
on and
exactly,
it was like,
yeah.
oh, they created women with beards or like men with like really like red skin for some reason.
Yeah,
and just
or
like
something along those
and
lines.
just like it didn't look good, and they like people got complained about it, and
Yeah.
then Capcom was like, okay, yeah, once the PC releases we'll give you a free redo ticket.
Really? Oh yeah, we did get a free redo.
You got a
ticket.
redo
I
ticket
forgot
to do
about
that.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, you might as well. And like I used mine for the most stupid thing possible.
What did you do?
Like my character was fine. Like I already play as a female because like that's
Yeah.
what I just like do naturally because like
Yeah.
oh female armor sets for because it's Japanese obviously. Like but they don't really differentiate anymore, so it's like oh kind of like chose the wrong choice, but like, I don't care anymore. But like
Yeah.
I still play as a female, but I just changed like the hair
Yeah.
color and like
Yeah.
the eye more shape of the face rather
Yeah.
than like go just redo my character straight
I was
up.
about to say, can't you just change the hair color like?
No,
in the
I don't
character
think you
editor?
can.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You definitely can.
Maybe you can, but like I'm just forgetting.
I beg. to
I know
differ,
you can change
sir.
armor pigment. That's one thing that
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
change color of. I'm
Well, no,
not
like
sure you
that's
can
the
change
thing.
hair.
Did you?
You can change hairstyles though. I know
Yes,
that for a fact.
you
You can
can-
change
yeah,
hairstyle,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think you can change hair color.
Okay, so here's the thing with one of the recent updates with Monster Hunter World is that they actually are letting you get layered armors for all
the
the
armors,
yeah. Which is like they're finally doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, honestly,
thank God. Like,
honestly, I only play with the Yukumo layer armor on.
well, yeah,
so
like that's a good
'cause,
layered
like
armor.
that's a good layer armor, and that's one I like.
Yeah, but
because
like
it reminds me of the old games, and I
Yeah.
just like be rocking like a freaking like I don't know what you call that, like a rice hat, the rice field hat.
what samurai hat or whatever.
It's not
it
really a
is?
samurai hat. It's like the cone hat where it's like comes down, like goes around like a large circle.
I think that's a samurai. No, I mean
It's
I could be wrong. Yeah. Whatever it is.
I'm ashamed to be called an age because I don't know the word for this.
Oh my God.
But it's what you use when you go out in the rice fields to protect you
Yeah,
from
okay,
the
yeah.
sun, basically.
Yeah. It's just a hat.
It's basically a sun hat.
It's just
yeah.
it's a sun hat. Yeah, it's just a hat.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, the Yukumo armor or layered armor is good. I like it. It's just it was the fact that we don't really have that many layered armors.
Yeah, and the only layer armors you do get are from the events too.
Yeah,
so like the
like,
diver
and that's
all
the
that
thing. Like,
stuff.
oh, if you aren't there to get the event to get
you're
all the
screwed
tickets,
over. Yeah.
yeah, like you're kind of screwed. So, like, finally, Capcom is just like, all right, here, we will let you have this like avenue that's easily accessible to get layered armors for every set of armor, like from every single monster, which I think is great. I really love it. We finally don't have to deal with bad fashion.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I love.
What
just-
armor set do you use?
So before Master Rank, I was just using kind of a mix of the Rathalos pieces.
Okay, so you got
So
the-
Rathalos, Wrath Soul, and then Azure Star-Lord.
Mhm.
I was just using mixes of that because I like having the critical element and then Mind's Eye Ballistics.
Yeah.
Right now I'm running this weird hodgepodge of what is it?
And well, that's the
Great
thing.
Jagger's head, Great Jagger's chest, because it gives me like
The attack.
it lets me get up to like 7 attack if I
Yeah.
have the right decoration set in.
decoration set to it. Yeah.
And then after that, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm not really to end game right now in terms of master rank, so I'll
Yeah.
just throw it together like whatever
Whatever,
I can.
yeah, and then the layer armor like just completely gets rid of the fact that it looks ugly. 'Cause,
yeah,
like a
yeah,
Jagger's armor and plus like two.
I think
lower
the
pieces.
Jagras armor looks good though. In my opinion, I like it. I
I'm
like
looks right now because I don't.
no, yeah, because like
I don't
kind
think it
of
looks
like
good.
I kind of like the cape like type of deal, like kind of bulky but not like super bulky. I think it's a nice piece. I know that I'm gonna be like that one guy that says, "Oh, I actually like the way that Great Jagger's armor looks." I think it's
I don't
cool.
like this.
You don't like it?
No.
Why?
It
Tell
just
me
doesn't
why.
look good.
Is it because, like, of the color scheme or just, like, the physical design of it? Like, why? Why don't you like it?
I don't like it because it just looks too bulky. Like, it looks like you're literally about to take, like, you're out on a mission to take, like, out on the world. You have a little, like, green beret. You got, like, your armor right here and here.
Listen, I like it, alright? I know I'm weird for saying that, but I like it. And I am unapologetically an avid fan of it. But, like...
I think the Master Armor for Gen Ultimate is way better.
I really do like what I've seen of the Rathalos Master Set, or Master Rank armors. Those look very nice. I like those. The wing
Look at
protrusion...
this. Look at this right here. Doesn't that scream just like MMORPG right there?
That screams too much MMORPG for
I
me.
like it though. It looks cool.
That screams way too much. There's too much going on there. Like, how many spikes do you really need on your armor? How many spikes do you really need? I like the more clean look. Like, I like a lively, clean look when I'm looking at armors. Like the new Rajang armor. I love the new Rajang armor. I think it looks amazing. I love it. Unfortunately for the layered armors, they only have, like, the first set of large monsters that you encounter for layered armors, and they're gonna keep, like, adding on to that, like, hopefully, at the very least. Like, they're gonna keep adding on until you get to have all the monsters. All the monster armors. So, yeah. I think that'll be really nice. I am an avid fan of good fashion. Instead of having
the one thing I don't like about
but that's it. Like, here's
the armors though for this one is there's a lot cooler ones for Gen Ultimate. Like, I'm a stickler for, like, kind of like the old fashioned armors. So it's
I've looked at the old armors. Like, yeah, they're cool. It's just like they're too like.
They're too Japanesey for you.
No,
okay.
No. It's just they're too, like, out there. Like, I don't.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, stop.
Hello, Siri. How are you? Anyways.
Hello there.
Hello there, General Kenobi. Anyways, that was a horrible impression. I am so sorry that you're gonna have to deal with that. Let's see.
You're sorry. I have to edit this.
I'm not sorry for you. I'm sorry for the listeners. This is your job for the club. You can deal with this.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I like a clean look. I don't like overly exaggerative, overly overdone. Like, I know what I like. Oh, I don't want to have 20 different spikes pointing out at me, like, in 20 different directions. One thing that does bother me, though, the Kirin armor and the Barioth armor, especially for, like, the female armor, it looks very, very similar. Almost to the point where it's just like, I could mistake them for either or. Or at least for what they did with Monster Hunter World. They look very similar to me.
For the Kirin armor inside Jedi Ultimate, it's just the single horn and the headdress.
Yeah.
And then you got, like,
and then for Barioth, it's the two fangs on the side of your face, and then the hairpiece.
Yeah. Well, I think they just didn't really change the design of it because a lot of
because
a lot of the armors from that time came around the same age.
Okay, but then
so it's like
that's
it's similar because, like, oh, it looks like this, but, like, honestly, I don't think it'd be that much of a difference. But, like,
yeah, but, like, that's the thing. That's like a 1-to-1 ratio for
well,
the armors. Why would Capcom do it for the armors and not the weapons? I am sorry, I have to bring it back to bits on sticks, but it makes me so freaking angry.
One thing I don't like about those armors is that, one, they're not the fun crossovers. Yeah, you got Devil May Cry, you got Alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, but, like, no one really played Horizon Zero Dawn, like, in my circle. And, like, a lot of people played Devil May Cry 5, which apparently was a good game.
Yeah.
But, like, inside Gen Ultimate, though, you had Shonen Jump crossovers. You had Uniqlo crossovers. You had Nintendo crossovers. You had, like, you could get a Mario and Luigi costume for your Palicos. You could literally become the Legend of Zelda. You could get the Master Sword and the Master Sword and the Shield. Like, like, for Nintendo fans, like, it's a lot more than what World does.
Yep.
And I do think if, like, you like Nintendo more, you'll side with Gen Ultimate. But, like, if you're, like, more of, like, a Western player, you'll side with
That's what I was
world.
thinking. They probably aren't trying to do like too many crossovers just because like this is from Sony PlayStation rather than from like Nintendo.
Yeah, and
because I know the rules are a little looser at Nintendo. I feel like
no, the rules are loose at Capcom, dude.
Really?
Like literally, if you wanted to go have a crossover, you go to the next office over. Like, hey, Devil May Cry 5 team, you want to have a crossover? Hell yeah, let's go. It's like, and that's what I read and heard about. Like, it's very easy to get something done at Capcom. Like, they had Street Fighter crossovers. They had this. They had that. Like, it's easy to do because they're just one company working with multiple IPs.
Multiple different
rather than like a one big umbrella company like Nintendo who had like Game Freak, who had like the Sakurai's company who developed Smash Bros. Like, you have multiple people working on these projects because it's kind of like, oh, you need to have these characters. But like if you're a successful company with many IPs like Capcom or Nintendo, it's easy to do crossovers with that, and like you don't have to go through legal teams and do all that stuff. Because I remember like when Capcom developed the Minish Cap, though, they did a lot of like references to like other Nintendo franchises.
Oh wait, they did?
No, was it Minish?
I mean, like
I think it's Link's Awakening, but like Capcom, I think it's Link's Awakening that I'm getting confused with because like they had Gordos, and it's Link's Awakening. They had Gordos, it has Kirby, it has like all this kind of stuff. Like they were playing fast and loose with it, really back in the old days because you can. But when Capcom sort of like I'll start this. My favorite game from Nintendo from the Legend of Zelda series is Capcom's The Minish Cap. Yeah. Because it's a nice art style. It's like up there and like has very like convincing puzzle standards. Like it kind of redefined the Zelda genre at that point.
Yeah. I am about to sound like the scourge of the gaming community as a whole. I have never played a single Zelda or Link game in my entire life.
Well, that's fine. Like you're kind of raised in you're kind of born at that point where it's like, oh, you had Halo, you had other like FPSs to play with.
I was never a huge FPS fan.
Really?
Yeah, like I played Halo a little bit in middle school, high school.
Yeah.
But it was never to the point where it's just like, oh, this is my favorite game, I love it. I gotta play it 24/7. Yeah. It was really just like, oh, my friends want to play. All right.
Yeah, literally the same thing with me. Yeah. Like I was more of a Nintendo fan because like I had an old NES. I had like the original Super Mario Bros. That was mixed in with Duck Hunt. Like I'm very old school in what I like. But like when I like something, it's good.
Yeah. I think what was it? The first game that I think I ever played and owned was Digimon Rumble Arena for like the PlayStation 1, but for some reason I was playing it on a PlayStation 2. Yeah. It was really weird, but like I am very fond of that game. Let's see.
Actually, Digimon is coming out with the two Cyber Sleuth
pack
for the Switch. I played it on PC. Oh no, PS4. Sorry, I played it on PS4. The first one. I enjoyed it because it's a different type of battle system. Because you expect it to be like Pokemon, where it's literally like, oh, random counter, send one Digimon out to fight. You have a party of 6. But no, you have a party. You probably have six or 8. I forget. Yeah, party 6 or 8. It's more of like a gacha game where like you have a party limit, a little score. You say like, okay, you can't have this many powerful Digimon, which makes it hard. But like you have to balance your team well. Yeah. So like you could have like Greymon or
Greymon
or Garurumon, that kind of stuff. Like you had a lot to play around with, and you had to experience a lot of Digimon to like grow and train. And there was a lot more. I would say that's kind of the turning point, like because I bought it when it first was new. I was like, oh, I remember this as a kid. I'll play it. And it's kind of like, oh, this is what an actual RPG is like. Like, it kind of redefined for me what an RPG should be. And like, with like gameplay wise and kind of like spicing it up where it's like, oh, it's not just a one-on-one battle system anymore. It's like you have multiple like entities on the field and like you can micromanage each one.
Yep. That's the thing though, I kind of wish they did take a page from Pokemon. Just because like, that was what I grew up with and that's what I really love. Like, as a series, like, as a story and as a series and as a concept, I like Digimon more than Pokemon. I will say that out loud right now, proudly, unironically. But as a game, I've always loved Pokemon more. Like, Digimon had a Nintendo game. Not a good game, fundamentally. And, like,
well, it's probably in that age where it's like, you didn't know what to do with the property. Because Digimon was a little, like, Tamagotchi thing.
Yeah, originally it was just the little Tamagotchi thing that you would carry around with you, which I am upset that I never actually had one.
Really? You didn't have a Tamagotchi either?
I never even had a normal Tamagotchi. No, never.
I had one. It died in the first 2 days, so like, I don't care.
That's
I was like, my parents were like, yeah, you can have this, and I was just like, cool. I was like, I just didn't really care for it.
Yeah,
At that point, I was just like, oh, it just beeps, and then I just
Yeah.
toss it aside and place it on my desk somewhere.
gotcha.
It died over like 2 days because I didn't feed it.
So it looks
Whoops.
like we're at about an hour 24. Want to keep going? Call it.
I think we'll call it for today.
All right.
All right. So, thank you for joining us. We will see you next time on the UCGC podcast. So, look forward to that.